Good morning and welcome to SJU. Look at all these fine gentlemen here. Hal Rudnick is here.
Hal Friday.
Hal Friday. Andy Signore, Spencer Gilbert, Dan Murrell. I'm Roth, Cornet. I'm here too. We're going to talk about it dominating.
Are we going to talk about it?
We're going to talk about it.
Hal, are we going to talk about it?
Well, I think we're going to talk about it.
It?
Yeah.
Okay,
there's a very disturbing scene in the book that
You can say the child orgy.
It's the child orgy, and we will be having a video for you this weekend that details said disturbing Stephen King sequences.
Wait, that's not in the movie though, right?
It's not in the movie.
So people are very confused what we're talking about.
Yeah, not in the movie.
The book has a very weird scene that's not in the movie, yes.
Yeah, not in the movie. But the
I thought this was Screen Junkies, not Book Junkies.
Yeah.
God, books. Also, X-Force from Cabin in the Woods director Drew Goddard. And Jared Leto is just as confused about the Joker as you are, and I guess we are. Are we confused? We feel a little confused.
We just don't know what's happening yet.
Yeah, well, that's the confusion. So Variety is reporting that it opened last night at $13.5 million. It is currently tracking at $60 to $75 million this weekend or more.
Higher.
It's
gonna be way higher.
What do you
So you're saying buy.
I'm saying buy. I'm like in sync in the early 2000s. So I'm saying buy.
Go all in your box office fantasy league.
88 to 90. That's my guess. Maybe higher. Yeah, no, it's insane.
It's going to do very, very well. We were just talking about this before. There's not been a great movie or a very successful box office. This has been a terrible season for the box office. And now people, I think, are excited to get back in the theater with a good film. This is the third largest opening of 2017 after Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Beauty and the Beast. Yes, Andy?
Can I make a funny idea? Let's all bet right now our totals. Whoever's closest has to pick someone to dress in clown makeup on Monday.
Okay, but we're all going to pick Joe.
Yes. Sure, we are all going to pick Joe.
But sure, what's your total, Hal?
The worst guess has to be in clown makeup.
I'll go 114 million.
Oh, he wants to be a clown.
Okay, somebody wants to dress up like a clown.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to say 94.
Is it okay? So is it close but not higher?
Oh, no.
Just closest.
Just
Absolute.
94. Okay.
Say a cool 85.
A cool 85. What do you
I'm
got?
saying 89. 89.5.
I was going to say 88, but now I'll say 91.
And I'm the lowest on it.
91.
You know what? I'm going to change my answer. 64.
Very well.
Locking them in. That's it. Someone wrote it down, I hope.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing Hal dressed up as a clown on Monday. So the sequel, not surprisingly, is already in the works from New Line.
It follows.
Such a good movie.
Well, without spoiling it, the movie makes very clear what the title of the sequel is going to be and what the intentions
Well, I mean,
are.
I don't need to see the movie to hope it's chapter 2.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, that's not a spoiler.
It's a book.
It's a book.
I just like seeing a well-reviewed Stephen King movie, especially after The Dark Tower was just like, such a mishmash.
You win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some. And when you're as prolific as he is, I mean, there's a lot of wins and losses.
He loses a lot. He loses more than he wins, to be fair. No, this was, I think this, I liked it. I saw it last night. I liked it a lot. And this was an adaptation of it. I think that was another thing, was it wasn't, Stephen King tends to go off in some weird directions, as mentioned at the beginning of this show. And I thought this was a great adaptation of the book, in that it has a lot of the great stuff from the novel, but they also kind of went their own way with it in certain ways to make it a better story. It's I think it has still some of Stephen King's weaknesses, but I put this up there with The Shining, maybe not as like Kubrickian, like that level of like crazy quality, but I just mean as like a great adaptation of the story, taking that story and making it into a good movie. It's really, you know me in horror movies, I really like this movie.
Can't wait to see it.
Can't wait to see it. It's really good. I have a couple of questions for us. This is a movie that got 197 million views on the trailer in 24 hours. Obviously, it's tracking to do very well.
It's like an Ed Sheeran music video.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
This will easily, I don't know why I made that noise. Ed Sheeran's fine. This will easily break records in terms of being the highest grossing horror movie opening of all time this weekend.
How many more clown movies do you think we'll see?
That's my question for us. Are they going to, A, why is it such a phenomenon? And 2, how are they going to be able to restrain themselves just with chapter 2? Or are we going to get multiple its and it alikes?
Also, are we going to see more of those like frickin' freak shows standing on the corner in like a small town dressed as a clown. Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I'm sure we'll see in one of those epic movie guys will come out with some sort of Pennywise spoof movie that we're all going to hate too.
I'm sure.
Oh,
Yeah. Right.
Do you think they'll just stop it at the proper with the adaptation of chapter
better.
2? Yeah.
It's going to be called
better.
Zit.
Ooh, that's like the Mad Magazine cover.
The clown with a zit on his face.
Blech.
Andy, don't put those thoughts out there in the world.
Yeah.
It depends on what they got the rights to, number one. I would imagine hopefully Stephen King didn't just sign away the rights to this whole thing so that they can make as many It movies as they want. But if they're smart, which Hollywood generally isn't, they'll make It and It 2 and then call it quits. But
I think the new formula for
Still make
success
it chapter 3.
started in Stranger Things and now continued in It is kids on bicycles.
Okay.
So we're going to see a lot more kids on bikes.
With monsters.
With monsters, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the formula now.
No, that's a great
We saw that in
point,
Super 8.
Spencer. Yeah, everybody loves that nostalgia right now, and at a certain point, what's the next one going to be? 10 years from now, 15 years, 20 years from now, we'll see kids with fidget spinners. You know, it's like, but what's tapping into
That'll be how you know it's 2017
kids on
in a movie.
hoverboards.
How do the fidget spinners kill you?
Put your dick in them.
They become sentient. They start rolling down the
Friday.
street.
It was him today, Billy. It wasn't me. It was Spencer.
I will say,
You have to go to the emergency room. It's a horrible thing.
Do you say that like you know?
I read about it.
You say that like you know.
I read about it, and then I questioned how it'd be possible.
With confidence. There's a lot of confidence.
If you did it, you would definitely have to get a doctor involved.
If you did it.
If you did it being penetrating a fidget spinner.
Oh, broke it out.
What?
I will say.
Oh, wait. Oh, there it is. Oh, my God.
Finn Wolfhard, in addition to having an amazing name, is stereotyping himself into a very specific genre because between Stranger Things and It, he is very much in the acting in shows set in the 80s or movies about kids riding around on bicycles.
With monsters.
With monsters. He's now very firmly got a foot in that camp. Yep.
You know what I did like though? He plays very different characters.
He does, yeah. He plays Richie Tozier.
Yeah.
Played by Seth Green in the television miniseries.
Oh, my doppelganger.
Who looks exactly the same today as he did in 1990 when they did the It miniseries. Yeah.
I don't think they'll show much restraint. I don't think that we'll see multiple It's, but I do think that we will see multiple It-likes. We will see a lot of films that are very similar to this one.
I think we're going to get 2 It's and a Pennywise.
2 It's.
I think we're going to get
Origin, right?
We get like Pennywise because there
origins,
are some things, from what I've read, there are some things, and remember, that are about his origin that are not in at least this movie.
That Stephen King wrote?
That Stephen King wrote that are not in this movie and may not be in the next movie. So I bet if they cut all that,
You're
they
totally
might
right.
be able to do
It chapter 3 will be the Pennywise origin.
Pennywise. Yeah, they just call it Pennywise.
I wonder if Stephen King will be like now tempted to write another It.
I hope not,
I
because he
hope
did
not,
the
yeah.
sequel to The Shining, and I think most people would.
But that was in
really?
response to how much he hated the movie. So if he likes it, then maybe he'll.
He does.
Could he be
does, yeah,
inspired
he
by
does.
this
He did
movie
like
to
it.
like go,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's keep going.
Yeah, no, he's been pretty
the
vocal
adults
about
He's
have
been
kids.
tweeting about it. He said, "Go see It tonight.
Yeah.
You'll float."
You will float. We'll
Yes.
all float. You'll float too.
You'll float too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Red
it yet.
balloons.
You will float too. I would put this in the top 10 Stephen King adaptations. That's saying a lot because there's some great ones. There's Stand By Me. There's The Shining. Shawshank Redemption.
Green Mile.
There's Misery. There's
Okay.
there's actually more solid King adaptations than I think we think about sometimes.
Maximum Overdrive.
There's a Maximum
Thinner,
Overdrive.
Dolores Claiborne.
There's some
Needful
terrible ones
Things.
too. You win some, you lose some.
Cujo, Carrie.
The
Carrie.
Langoliers.
Lawnmower
Hey.
Carrie's one that people don't. What?
Carrie is awesome.
I know.
Oh, very well.
Pet Cemetery.
Carry on.
Pet Cemetery also has some fun parts.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. No, I thought you were banging. I thought you were hating on Carrie.
No.
Yeah.
No, what? No.
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Very well. Continue to praise
You want a
Carrie.
bottle of drink?
You know what we are gonna get? X-Force, more X-Men on the way. Drew Goddard, who was nominated for an Academy Award for co-writing The Martian.
He was.
He also directed.
He's live on
Cabin in
Skype.
the
Hey,
Woods.
Drew.
Hello, Drew.
Picture
Hey,
there.
Drew.
How's it
You're
going,
frozen,
Drew?
Drew.
I can't hear you,
From the
Drew.
Skype Can't hear you.
What?
Bad connection.
Sorry, bad connection, Drew.
Oh, well, we have.
Oh, we had Drew.
Well, it would have been
Yeah.
great. Anyway.
He had a big scoop for us too about this movie. So you should tune in to every single SJU in the future because he's coming
never know
back.
who's gonna
You
call
never
in.
know. Drew is definitely coming back. So this is featuring, it's going to focus on Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin for Cable and Deadpool, leading their merry band of mutants.
Ryan Reynolds is a producer on it, so
he's a producer on it with Laura Schuler-Dahmer and Zara Kimberg. Cool. This is happening. He had been attached to the Spider-Man spinoff, Sinister Six. That obviously fell apart, but here he is doing this.
He also wasn't part of Robopocalypse, the Spielberg movie that never made it. That took for years to try and get together. Poor guy. He's
been around. He was attached to Daredevil. He wrote some of it for a while, though Stephen DeKnight was the showrunner on season 1 of Daredevil.
And he directed Cabin in the Woods, right?
Directed Cabin in the Woods.
And that was such a genre-bending film. That gets me excited. And he doesn't have a long directing resume, right?
No.
But I mean, that film just made such an impact. It was so much fun and unexpected that I'm like, oh, I want to see what this guy does, you know?
Yeah. He's a talented guy. He actually was in the writer's room with Joss Whedon on the Angels.
How'd he get in there?
Oh, yeah.
You know, he broke in. It's how you do it.
I didn't realize that Deadpool was going to be such a part of X-Force. Like, that's kind of, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but also it's very telling about how much they're going to be leaning on Deadpool moving forward. Because I figured that they would introduce Cable, and then Cable would then...
Cable and Domino, which are both a part of X-Force.
They're traditionally very much a part of X-Force. Deadpool... not so much. Yeah. And I just wonder how that character is going to fit into a more traditional team movie, because he's so fourth wall breaky. Like, he's making fun of those kinds of movies. And then now to say, like, oh, he's going to star in the X-Force movie. I'm like,
that's needed, though, because the X-Force is a very 90s extreme version of the X-Men. So I think you need a Deadpool-type character to kind of take the air out of it. Because I don't think we'd buy that. It'd be like a Triple X movie. Like, they take themselves too seriously.
And it's a way I almost think you would think Deadpool would be better in a supporting role, like in smaller doses, but he turned out to not be. So I'm kind of interested to see him in an ensemble.
I think Dan makes a great point there. Like, how do you navigate that? Because it is such a different tone. He is such a, like... a lone wolf kind of guy, so it's kind of like a potent spice that you're going to, like, you can't overwhelm the movie with too much Deadpool if you're serving all these different characters.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of... It's interesting what they're doing with this franchise, because we're going to get X-Men Dark Phoenix, we're getting Deadpool 2, we're getting New Mutants, and it seems like we're getting some siloed kind of X-Men films, and then Deadpool is the fulcrum now in the way that Wolverine once was. What do you think about the future of the X franchise in general?
I mean... I worry a little bit for Fox, just because the X-Men franchise has never been a guaranteed cash cow. They've never, I mean, Days of Future Past, I think, was maybe one of the biggest ones they had, and globally at least, and it wasn't $1 billion grosser. Last Stand made a lot of money, but wasn't that good. And then, you know, X-Men did good, and X2 did pretty well, but, you know, other ones like Apocalypse didn't do well, and First Class didn't do amazing. So it's like they're milking a cash cow, but there's... The cow didn't give that much milk. Deadpool did
got
great.
A lot of milk. They're going to milk that Deadpool dry.
They're really depending. They have 4 X-Men movies now, X-Men related movies in current development, over a franchise that has not traditionally been just like an MCU type, just like every single movie is just spouting money out. So
I think they're just trying to find which one's going to spout more money.
That's an expensive experiment. That's an expensive
They're betting on Ryan. They're betting on Deadpool right now. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to need to have some friends, the X-Force, and we got to find our extreme X-villains. So I'm going to give you each the name of a character and a superpower, and you are going to tell us the 30-second origin story of this character. Andy, how?
So these are X-Force villains?
These are X-Force characters. They can be any... They can be a villain. They can be... Oh, God, I got the one I didn't want.
Wait, do we make these up, or these are real people?
They're real, Andy.
These are made up. These are like, I don't remember this one.
Yeah, these are super made up.
How you go first?
Okay. So reveal the character, the power, and tell the origin story. My character is the epically evil Sloppy Joe Man. You know, I guess there.
Yeah, there you go. The shot of
and his power, you would think it would be delicious cafeteria-style sloppy joes, but no, it's giving people insomnia.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Sloppy Joe Man, a.k.a. Ed Harcheck, was
That's really good.
Yeah, really painting us a picture.
was a bus driver on a break eating at a lunch stand in the city. The city. He had a sloppy Joe.
The name of the city.
And as he was eating that sloppy Joe, a satellite fell out of the sky and exploded near him. He was imbued with amazing powers, shooting sloppy Joes from his hands. But these sloppy Joes will keep you up all night with your stomach churning. Oh, it may be delicious. And they're so good that people come back for them. But you're going to be up all night farting and shitting. Sloppy Joe Man!
10 years of improv training. Paid off.
Thank you.
Oh, Rudnick.
Thanks.
Oh, I get to follow that. Love it. Okay. My character is Ding Dong Man. Ding Dong Man has the power, is compelled to tell the truth, but only about trivial things. So the way Ding Dong Man works is you are at your house, you're planning your birthday party for your brother, and Ding Dong Man will interrupt and ding dong and say, "Ding Dong, it's your birthday. They're about to surprise you with a cake and balloons." And then he leaves off. So he shows up to surprise you with trivial things. And his real name is Barry Bong.
I want to know his origin story.
Wow.
Yes, my X-Force villain is Captain Bubblicious. There it is. Now you know that I wasn't making it up. Captain Bubblicious. And his power, bring it back, is to cause mild indigestion. I'm pretty sure that's what that says.
Like somebody
is he related to Sloppy Joe Man?
Yeah, this probably goes with Sloppy Joe Man.
Oh, they could team up.
Yeah. Little Jimmy Sockets was a Little League baseball player, and he was bullied, and one day they all held him down and made him eat a whole pack of Bubblicious and swallow it. And as you know, gum stays in your stomach for 7 years. So 7 years later, he not only had mild indigestion, but he had the power.
7 years of it.
Yeah, to just chew up Bubblicious and then hawk it right into your mouth so that it would go right down your throat. And then give you 7 years of mild indigestion because you can't swallow your gum, kids.
Wow.
Supposedly it stays in there. And that's how Jimmy Sockets became Captain Bubblicious. And fought Cable? I don't know.
Dan.
Oh, my turn. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This feels rigged. Mine is called the Pontificator. And there we go. And the superpower is that he can levitate 3 feet. Which makes sense because the Pontificator started out as a mild-mannered blogger for the Huffington Post. And he was imbued with the power of HuffPo. Yeah. He was imbued with the power of levitation because what better way to get on your soapbox than to levitate 3 feet into the air?
Saves a lot of effort.
But he doesn't. He uses his powers. This is the tragedy of the Pontificator. He is extremely persuasive, but he will only pontificate about things that are useless to everyday life, like why you should stop eating egg whites, or why
I eat those all the time.
Those are good.
Exactly. Well, the Pontificator has more than a few things to say about that. I'll tell you much. So yeah, the Pontificator is a tragic superhero story in that he has great power to persuade. But his tragic flaw is that, much like many lifestyle bloggers for the Huffington Post and elsewhere, generally waste their time yelling at you for things that don't matter.
Bravo.
Well, speaking of yelling at us for things that don't matter, we're going to do a Joker.
Whoa. No. Nice try, Roth. You got one. You said we all had to go around the table and do this.
I see the one
you have to do it. Yes. This is not how it works.
Yeah. Nice try.
This is a team effort.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Nice try, Cornet.
You plan these games. You have to give them a plan.
I feel like there's no way to do this without being somehow offensive. It's Wonder Woman, spelled like the male name.
Oh, no.
And the power is electricity.
Okay.
And I refuse. I think that says it all.
Come on.
I think that we can all celebrate the fact that Juan found...
He's clearly an electrician.
There's nothing wrong with being named Juan.
Yeah. You only if you make it
I just bumbled
racist.
through that C- pitch, and you're just taking a.
I can't think of anything not racist.
Like, come on.
Young Juan.
Yes.
Young Juan's dad was indeed an electrician. He loved his dad a lot, and he would go with him to work quite frequently. And he worked in this one particular house. This one particular house that he needed to continue to return to. This woman, beautiful woman, just gorgeously dressed, kind of like Marianne Cotillard type of vibe for this woman, you know what I mean? She's just
I'm on board.
and grace. Get off the close-up! God damn it! You're my eyeball!
Keep going.
Beautiful style and grace. And Juan just found himself to be captivated by this woman, just entranced by her. And so one day, and he also was a little curious about why her electricity kept going out, and like dad would disappear for a while each time for about an hour, but we're not going to get into that part of the backstory.
Okay. Save it for the origin story.
Well, that's for him and his therapist to work out. One day, Juan decided that he could help his dad because he was disappeared into the back for about an hour. But the electricity just kept going on and off. So he took the tools and did his level best. And while he did it, he sneakily just put on one single strand of pearls, just to see what it felt like.
Okay. It's like Ed Wood in that Agora sweater.
Exactly, like the Agora.
Yeah.
Nice pull. He hit one wrong wire. Massive blackout in all of the city.
Yeah.
I mean, it created all of the heroes had to come together after that.
Bubblicious
and
Man.
When it was Bubblicious Man was there.
Ding Dong Man.
Joe, the Pontificator added very little.
The Pontificator was really just telling you why you shouldn't be on the grid and you should only use solar power.
Exactly.
But, he was there.
But he was there.
He was there.
It was decent advice, actually.
This is not a short pitch.
Someone who didn't want to do it, you're really chewing it.
This isn't brief, though. It's not brief.
When Juan woke up, he found that small spark of inner curiosity had been awakened in him. And though
it's a metaphor.
he sometimes lived as young boy Juan, otherwise not unlike Shazam, he was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And she was
proud.
Fabulous.
Wow.
And could also destroy villains with electricity. So it was really very convenient.
Nice.
Wow, I want to watch
Everybody
that.
involved.
Can I add one more addendum?
I really wish you would.
Then Wonder Woman won season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Work. Yes.
There you go.
That is the story of Wonder Woman. Jared Leto, as we know.
Segue.
We need Roth in a segue.
Yeah,
we need to make this happen.
Jared Leto, as we know, has heard now about the multiple potential Joker origin stories that are happening.
From us, I hear.
He's heard it
Watches the show every
here.
morning.
Yeah, Drew calls in. We have our morning call with Jared that we don't like to brag about, but we kind of will. He was asked about, and here's what he had to say. Oh, we don't have
headphones.
I'm a little confused too. So, but yeah, there are a couple of things happening in the DC world. I love the Joker. He's a great character and really fun character to play. But it's a big universe, and when you play the Joker, you really there's no ownership there. You have the honor of like holding the baton for a little while and then passing it off.
So what did he say?
He said there's a big universe, and you play the Joker, you don't have ownership of it, so you hold the baton for a little while, and then you pass it off.
So essentially,
is that implying he wants to, he's out?
I don't know.
He didn't say that, but I think he handled it actually with a lot of grace. He said he was equally confused, and he wasn't really sure which Joker movies he was going to be doing. He's ostensibly doing the Harley and Joker movie, and then there's the origin story that's separate. But he also was just like, look, when you're playing a character like the Joker, you hold the baton and then you pass it on. You don't own that thing, which is true. But do we find it interesting that no one's like clarified this to the person that's currently holding the baton?
He also held the baton for the shortest amount of time in the worst movie he could have been the Joker in.
Shortest baton holding ever.
Well, technically not. Every actor who's played the Joker's only done one movie.
True,
So,
but I mean, this amount of screen time and everything.
True. Yeah, no, definitely the least impactful to the overall arc of the movie, of the many various Jokers. And I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Who was that guy sitting next to him?
Probably in his band.
And why was he at a junket for Destiny 2? I'm so...
I think he did a voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that guy looked a little bit like a long-haired Pedro Pascal.
I can see that.
Just an observation.
I mean, I'm sure he's as confused as everyone else is, because I would be if I was told I was the Joker, and then I wasn't, potentially.
It's kind of like Mark Ruffalo just gave up.
He is. I keep looking. He looks like he's from like a Seattle band, but then I'm like, he is, right? But not Seattle, but 30 Seconds to Mars.
Probably.
Yeah, but
He's like a rock star.
Looks like he is playing Casey Affleck in the biopic of Casey Affleck from a year ago.
Great. That's great.
Jared Leto looks like he got his shirt tattooed.
I'll always see Jordan Catalano and just get lost in those eyes, right?
Jordan,
The guy's got good genes. He's in his
He does.
40s. He looks like he's
Really?
not it. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Yep.
Wow.
Do you guys have any like Dan? I would
Yeah.
love to hear each of you. Who would you love to see as the Joker? I don't know. On the spot.
Yeah,
Well, I was just thinking about it recently. I'll throw one out there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, the more I think about it, like in Nightcrawler and just his body of work, I think he could pull off that speed.
I want Crispin Glover.
That'd be fucking crazy.
Oh, that would be insane.
Someone threw that on Movie Fights. Paul Dano.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that on Movie Fights that I heard too. I can see that happening. Yeah, I can see that working.
It's so tough to say though, because all of the times that you think a character's been cast perfectly, it often does not feel that way when we see it on the screen. And then when we think that they're not right, they often are. You know, like you wouldn't have thought necessarily of Heath Ledger as the Joker. And then way back in the day, people thought it was crazy to cast Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and she was amazing. So I don't know.
Same with Anne Hathaway, but she was okay.
Yeah, exactly. She was surprisingly okay.
She's all right.
She was all right. So there
was
you
okay.
go. Jared Leto
She
is
wasn't
as
Michelle
confused
Pfeiffer.
as we are. I do think it's a little odd and not surprising, because I feel like that's the way things go. Like, conversations just don't happen when they should frequently with these projects. But it's a little sad that no one's explaining to him what's going on.
Part of it is also, and it's kind of what we talked about last week when this was still going on, the week before, I don't remember. Part of it is also that things are just so leaky. Like, honestly, I don't think there's anything to tell.
Right.
Like, I don't think anyone has anything to tell Jared Leto. I don't think there is any clarification to this situation, because it's literally something that's just being developed.
Right, and they're
like,
allowed to write scripts in multiple versions and see which one actually is worthy of putting their money into.
Yeah.
So part of me is just like, I don't think, that there's anything to clarify at this point. Like, I think if Jared Leto called Warner Brothers and they're like, what's up with these Jokers? I think their answer would legitimately be like, I don't know. We're working on some stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
We commissioned a bunch of scripts. We're going to see which one we like, and then we'll cast it.
Yeah.
Continue to be a rock star and live fabulously.
Yeah.
You guys should continue to be rock stars and live fabulously. I want to thank my amazing panel today. Hal, where do you want the people to find you?
Oh, yeah. Find me at Hal Rudnick on Twitter and Instagram. And hit me up.
How about you guys?
Hit up Hal Rudnick.
You know where to find us.
You know where we are.
Here all day, every day.
We're always here.
All day, every day. Thank you guys for joining us today. And thank you guys in the booth for being amazing. Billy Business, Chris back there, New Parker. Does Ryan get a name yet?
Yeah, Ryan gets the name.
Yeah.
Ryan earned
Thanks,
a name
Ryan.
today. It's a very happy Friday. Ryan gets a name today. Still New Parker to me. Thank you guys so much. Be nice to each other. Be nice to everybody else. And have an amazing weekend. We do have the weird thing, the video coming out about the weird Stephen King
Flickbait,
stuff.
4 p.m. on the main channel.
Main channel. So much good stuff.